What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. Showing now, hell yeah, with the game we ballin' now. Used to ain't half this ass over now. Life's amazing, awesome, wow. Ball nuts, got kids, it's lanes and ball guns. But your baby ass is need to grow up. Quit complaining and get your dough up. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving.
Fun, party hard, live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music, to the music, to the music, to the music, to the music. Have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music. Live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music, have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music, have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music, have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard, have fun, party hard, start dancing to the music.
What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. With the gang, we ballin' now. Used to ain't half this, that's over now. Life's amazing, awesome, wow. My nuts, got kids, it's lanes and ball guns. But your baby ass is gonna grow up. Quit complaining and get your dough up. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving. What you waiting for? What you think we came here for? I wanna see you dancing, moving, grooving like you're dancing, moving, grooving.
Have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music, to the music, to the music, to the music, to the music. Have fun, party hard, live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music. Live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music. Have fun, party hard. Live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music. Have fun, party hard. Live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music. Have fun, party hard. Live your life, party hard. Have fun, party hard. Start dancing to the music.
Welcome to the war game. Welcome to the war game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Asphalt Series Team Challenge 2021. I'm your host, Paul Inverum-Toddkill, and today we get to witness some of the best racers from around the world go head-to-head for cash prizes. And I am extremely excited to get this underway. A different format, a new experience, and a lot of fantastic racers. So let's take a look at the teams who've made it here to the finals, who are going to be competing. Of course, we have 3 different platforms, Android, iOS, and Windows, all who are going to have their own semifinals and finals, so we get to crown champions on each of our platforms. I cannot wait to see who's going to come out on top. I see a lot of the best clubs, see a lot of the best racers, so we are going to have some absolutely stellar competition. There's a lot going on this year, so let's take a look at how it works and get hyped for these races. I personally cannot wait to see who's going to come out on top. Like we said there, it's a different format. I'm used to competitive asphalt, thinking about it one-on-one, head-to-head, but this team challenge brings in a whole new dynamic. Speaking of teams, let's take a look at our first bracket here for Android. Some of the best players going toe-to-toe. You can see it up there. Like I said, so many of these fantastic clubs competing. Diesel Dragon, unfortunately, going to be competing solo up against this one, but hey, I've casted Diesel Dragon before. I know how good of a player they are. I cannot wait to see what they can do, but going up against the likes of Onio, this is going to be pretty darn tough. Going to be pretty exciting here, but that's just Android. We still have iOS as well. Let's take a look at that semifinal bracket as well. Again, names like Alex, Future Flash. This is gonna be tough. These are gonna be some absolutely intense races here, all to make it on to the finals. Of course, we still have one more platform as well. Talking about Windows, excited to see what these Windows players can bring to the table here. And of course, it's so important to make sure that these players are competing on their own platforms to keep things as balanced as possible. And I'm stoked to see who's going to come out on top. But of course, the way things are working, we're going to see all the semifinals first before we go to the finals. That's something to keep in mind as we take a look at the prize pool as well. Let's see what these players are competing for. 3,000 euros for first place, going to those teams, 1,500 and 500 respectively. So a lot of money going into the pockets of these players, but the final hurdle is still in front of them. They still have to make it to that grand final, and they still have to try and secure the win here. Let's take a look at the schedule. Like I said before, we're going to see all of the semifinal races first, which means make sure you stick around to the end, because that's when the championships are arising. But Android, then iOS, then Windows, semi, and then final. That's what we're going to be seeing here today, and I cannot wait to get into it. So let's not wait. Let's just do it right now. Let's get things started on Android with our first semifinal matchup. RPM Sukti and RPM Onio going up against Diesel Dragon. Fortunately, Diesel Dragon's teammate was not able to compete, so he's going to be doing this one as a solo. But if there's any player repping from NA who could get it done, I think the Diesel Dragon potentially could do so here. As we get into our very first race, all the tracks here on New York, starting things off with Subway Surfing, and players will be competing with that McLaren Senna. So cannot wait to see what they can do with this vehicle. Not the best top speed, but handling, nitro efficiency, these are the things this vehicle is known for. And we got some twisty turning tracks here, so I'm excited to see what these players can do with a vehicle that has such good handling in the S-Class. So we're jumping on board with Sukti, who's off to a pretty quick lead here. And look at the way they handle these corners. That's what I'm talking about. Diesel Dragon, though, already hot on their heels in second place. Oh, bit of an awkward angle there off that barrel. Was able to use the shockwave, and I'm not sure that's exactly how they wanted to navigate that particular jump there. As we're going and seeing things here, floaty drifting around the corner. That's something we're going to see these players do quite a lot in these races, trying to conserve as much of their nitro as possible by throwing in those 360s around the turn. And it's all about weaving in those very strategic drifts and brakes to make sure that you are optimizing that to a T. But Sukti has not really been given up this lead at all, and that's often what we see at this very high level asphalt. These players are all absolutely stellar. They know the routes they want to take. So it comes down to who can execute it just that little bit more perfectly. We're talking milliseconds. We're talking fractions of seconds when you hit that boost, whether you perfect nitro, whether you hold for a shockwave. How do you take it? That's what we're looking towards with these players. And man, Diesel Dragon is hot on the heels right now, going in for the shockwave. But look at instant cancel. Oh, they both go off the ramp, both pop the shockwave. That could have been the opportunity to potentially wreck their opponents, but Diesel Dragon did it. Actually, with the pass, hit the lower line, hit the ground that little bit sooner, and I think Diesel Dragon's done it. Oh my goodness, pops around it, is going to be able to take the lead on this second lap, and I'm getting excited because things are heating up already in our first race, but Diesel Dragon needs to be cautious. The lone solo player will be able to get it done. Okay. All right, North America, I see you. That's still race number 1, though. This is a best of 3. Let's get back into it. I want to see if the lads over from RPM can get this one done and take us to a race number 3. As we're jumping into the city that never sleeps. Still, all of these tracks on New York. Keep an eye on that. Because again, a lot of quick, sharp turns these players are going to need to keep an eye on. Straightaways as well, where they can keep it. Oh man, that is such a nice little trick there, being able to actually ride on the rail. We see wall riding a decent amount, but that is just a whole other level of technicality the players add to this. And that's a trick, well, I mean, you really only see at the highest levels of competition. Not something super easy to execute, but now we're seeing a situation where both players are ahead of Diesel Dragon. It's a 2v1 at this point. Now, as much as they're trying to obviously keep ahead of their opponent, they also need to make sure they keep out of each other's way. That is a big factor in this one. Don't want to be messing each other up. We talked about the idea of clean racing, coming in and trying not to, battle your opponent too directly, just race the best race you absolutely can and not try and go for knockdowns. Well, in this kind of team competition, I don't think we're physically going to be able to see that because these players are going to be right on top of each other, but it looks like all the members of this squad here are just pulling ahead. Easy peasy, no problems, no questions asked, and I don't see Diesel Dragon even on the field right now. Definitely has a bit of a lead they need to catch up on here, and looks like taking a bit of a slightly different line there, potentially. Keep an eye on this. No, both these players are going to be going down to the low ground this time around, not wanting to go for any unnecessary risky plays. Diesel Dragon taking a slightly alternate route, but you can see just how far behind Diesel Dragon is right now. Onio is here, and of course Onio, an absolutely incredible top-tier player, has been competing at the highest level for a very long time, so unlikely to let something as simple as 2v1 slip out of their grasp. They need to take this one back, though, of course, and need to take us to game number 3. And the way this race is looking like right now, I don't think there's much of a question in anyone's mind that is going to be exactly the case. I think it would be extremely unlikely that both players mess up as I say that, though. Sukti almost not quite finishing that off, but we'll be able to get the win here in this second race, which means we are going to go to a race number 3, because of course these are best of 3s. This one for all the marbles. Who will advance to the finals? We're going to find out. Is the squad coming on here? Going to start things off on Uptown. Diesel Dragon in the rear, all ready to start things off, getting a little bit physical, but actually losing a lot of ground already. I mean, that's not how you want to be. I talked about this before. These players are so good. Once you get in the lead, it's very hard to give that up if you know what you're doing. Players have to go for every kind of minute, difficult speed trick just to try and make up the milliseconds that they are behind. But at this stage, it's more than milliseconds. Diesel Dragon has their work cut out for them, has to pass both of these players. And if I'm these two, just one of the players has to win. That's the thing you have to remember. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. Only one of the players from this team has to win in order for the whole team to advance. So if I'm looking at it, and I'm Onio at this point, let Sukti go out there, take the lead. Let them play a super clean run. I'm just stopping Diesel Dragon from passing me. You're playing gatekeeper at that point. You're playing goalie. And it looks like Diesel Dragon may have actually had a bit of an issue there. I don't know if they full crashed or just had a bit of a stop on the back of that jump. Didn't quite go their way, but oh no, this is looking like a disaster for Diesel Dragon. Their run or at least chance for the finals, maybe ending right here. May still look to bring it back in our third place match, but I think for now, the chances of them losing this one, or winning this one, I should say, are growing slimmer and slimmer by the second. Sukti out there in front, so clean, impeccable, gets off to that early lead. We saw in that first race, it took everything that Diesel Dragon had to barely be able to squeak by at the end, but I don't think that's going to happen again. Look at the way they're timing these 360s off the jump. Look at that nitro, the boost perfectly managed, going into the corner, pop the shockwave, break it out, and then immediately have that ready to go off the next jump. You can see it popped here and then right back on up. They managed their nitro so beautifully, and this is what I expect to see here at this high level of play. And this is basically going to be all she wrote. It looks like RPM, Sukti, and Onio will be advancing on to the finals here on the Android platform. Congratulations to them. A valiant effort from Diesel Dragon, but not quite meant to be. But who will their opponents be? That's the question. Let's take a look at our updated bracket as we're taking a look at our second semifinal. Who will advance on? Who will place the Lone Warrior of Diesel Dragon down there in the bottom? That is the question. And again, RPM showing up in a big way. How many of the players in this whole bracket are RPM? It's a lot. I'll go back and count at some point. There are a lot of them here. Just going to show that they are really catering to that super high level of play. Who'll be able to come out on top? That's the question as we get into our second semi-final. RPM, Rev, Urcel, X, and Prime going up against... those are some names. Aeonian, I get. Jimbalate? Jimbalate. PE? Ooh. They don't make it easy for us, do they? Let's get into the race. Either way, I can figure out the names as we go. Let's get things started. Blue team, purple team. All right, I can dig it. As we're seeing already, RPM Aeonian back here. Oh, but this is what we're talking about. The 3 vehicles, there's one thing to contend with, but now we've got 4. 2 teams head to head. Looking to see who's going to bump into each other here. It will be the same map pool as our other semifinal to keep things balanced. So we're back here on Uptown this time around. So we're keeping an eye on things. Okay. Lead Jimblade PE out here in first place. Great lead. Ooh, does clip the wall a little bit though. We'll lose some overall top speed. Zercel X is here hot on their heels. These are 2 different teams competing, taking, okay, slightly different route here. Is Urcel X can actually potentially be cutting some time off? No, looks to be about the same, but it's a head-to-head between these 2 players at the front. But Prime is hot on their heels, all going for that wall ride to try and maintain as much top speed as possible, popping the shockwave to try and maximize as much as they can here. It's all about the balance, the juggling act of trying to keep that top speed up, balancing out the nitro while also getting the best line into that next turn as possible. And we're seeing here up in first place, Jibble. Oh, so close, the fat spin, and he actually gets taken down. The 360 gets it done as these 2 teammates are side by side here, and it looks like Excel X will be able to take the lead with that one. And I talked about how it was unlikely we were going to see clean racing. That's what I'm talking about. Aeonian, though, is going to have to try and bring it back for the team, but slightly mistimes that 360. The flat spin didn't quite go out. You can see them actually a little bit hesitant to pop it off again there. That's the immediate effect of not quite landing one of these tricks correctly. It makes players a little cagey, a little more hesitant to get it done this time around. And ooh, it clips the wall on that corner as well. And we'll see as we're taking a look back all the way in 4th place. You can see the results of that knockdown. The player in first now all the way back. That's how good these players are. Look at that spin. 0 hesitation as we're seeing these players making their way towards the finish line. And it will be Excel X who will be able to get the win in this first race. That one was back and forth. This one could really be anyone's game as we're getting into race number 2. No breaks, no hesitation, no slowing down. This is Asphalt 9 Legends after all. As we're seeing Jimbalate PE. I really hope I'm saying that name correctly at this point. Jumping into first place once again. The Prime, though, hot on their heels. These are 2 different teams. Keep in mind, it's Team Blue versus Team Purple here. And now McLaren Senna back and forth, taking a slightly different line. Opting to go for the gold instead of going for the jump there. Both will be popping their shockwaves at roughly the same time, though. And I love seeing these little isolated battles, the head-to-heads, the 1v1s built into this team battle. But keep in mind, it will not stay that way for long as they are rip-tearing through this section here. But Prime doesn't quite hit the landing correctly, and you can see immediately Aeonian is going to step up right in, zero hesitation, just fill that spot. You slow down even by a hair, and these players will pass you in an instant. Aeonian, though, again, going for these slightly different lines. I haven't seen a massive difference between the two of them overall. I don't really think there is a huge difference between either one, though. I think it's more of a preference in terms of where you are overall in terms of boost and how you feel you can take that corner with the drift. As we're seeing teams, both of them going up here on that high ground. Ooh, player may have actually made a slight error there, though. Drop down underneath? No. Looks like just a slightly different route. Excel's trying to take as much of this, everything they can as possible, but both of these players here are at the back. Prime is there as well, and Aeonian and Jimbalade just seem to be way out in front at this point. Both of these players just trying their best to close the gap as much as possible, but as we're heading down towards the end of this race, I'm not sure if there's much of a chance because, like I said before, it's a 2v2. That player at the back, in this case, Aeonian, can play goalie, can play gatekeeper, can stop them back, and I mean, they're a few seconds away from just cleaning this up in a, I think, hang on. They can do this. I mean, I don't really think there's any way that they're going to be able to catch up at this point. Jimbalade up in first place, though. This player, if he doesn't get knocked down, absolutely terrifying to deal with. And boom, just like that. Semifinal, race number 2. Semifinal number 2? Race number 2 in the bag. All right. So let's go to 3. That's 1. That's 1. We got to figure out who's advancing. I love this. All of these players are so good. It's impossible to see who's going to be advancing here because it is just so close. All these semifinals so far going to race. Ooh, okay, well, that's one way to start things out. All right, that was not the opening that player was looking for. Aeonian going to be looking to make things up here. As we're seeing, looking towards the front, this seems to be a tough race so far to try and close this gap already. I mean, you hate to see a knockdown that early on in the race, but part of it seemed like it was a little bit of driver error, and this player, Elite Jimbalade PE, I mean, they have been in the lead. It literally took knocking them out of the track to knock them out of first place. They have been very much so, I don't want to say the carry for this team, but looking incredible. But Prime, hot on their heels at this point, and I mean hot on their heels. They are bumper to bumper. Will they be able to pass them? Identical line, just looking to try and balance the nitro as best they can. Taking that corner. We'll be able to see if they can pull things off here, going into the shockwave off the jump. But again, it doesn't really seem to make any difference in terms of time. The player who was in the lead is still in the lead. And we have one player from each of these teams up there. Oh, but as I say this, Aeonian is coming in. This is Jimbalade's teammate, so they can potentially look to try and get a knockdown here onto Prime, defend their teammate spot. That's exactly what they're doing. They're not even looking towards that first place spot. They're just going to try and keep their opponent out of contention and keep things freed up for their teammate up there in first place, and they have done just that. Both of these players in 1 and 2. That's how you win a semifinal race in style, and Prime's got to try and overcome both here, but we're coming down towards the end of this race. There's not a whole lot of time. Bumping into walls left and right. It's not a great way to get it done as they're going around this corner, taking it a little bit too tight. The speed's dead. They're done. They're done. I'm calling it now. There's no way they come back. Getting a little bit too close on that corner, scraping up that wall. That ain't the way to get it done. And just like that, looks like Jimbalade and Aeonian are going to be able to take this semifinal. They are doing it in style. It went to all 3 games, but in the end, they're going to be able to get it done here, covering both their bases, taking all the angles, but they are just cruising into our final match here. I don't think there's any question in anyone's mind. This player, again, somebody tell me how to pronounce their name, because they are absolutely incredible. Wow. I gotta take a second. But we don't have a second. What am I talking about? I need a break, but you don't. Let's take a look at the bracket. Let's see how things shook out here after our 2 Android matches. 3 out of 4 players in the grand finals being representing RPM there. Absolutely incredible. Ooh. All right, let's keep things going, though, because these players aren't slowing down. Neither will I. Let's take a look at iOS here. Sorry. Let's take a look at the iOS bracket as well. There we are. As we're taking a look at that first semifinal there up top. Again, a lot more players from RPM there. But I'm excited to see who's going to be able to come out on top. I recognize quite a few of these names, actually. These are some of the top racers, and like I said, from around the globe. So I am excited to see who is going to be able to pull out the victory here as we take a look at our first semifinal here on the iOS platform. And this one, I mean, in my experience, traditionally, iOS tends to have, I don't know, what about those racers? They're just looking that little bit faster as Alex and Future Flash going up against Commandment and Tony the Fourth. Ooh, this one's gonna be good. I can already tell. I'm bracing myself in my chair as we're about to jump into our first race here on the iOS platform. Who's gonna get it done? Oh, look at them. They have cars that aren't like the same color, so I can tell the teams apart. Thank you so much. Alex and Future Flash here in the white vehicle. Commandment, Tony the Fourth, they're in the black McLaren Senna. As we're getting things going once again. Beautiful line coming up from Alex. What was that? He just catapulted himself forward through his teammate. No questions asked there. That shockwave was flawless. Tony the Fourth's just sitting there, mouth agape, going, oh boy, it's gonna be that kind of race. Oh, and this is the shockwave up to the high ground as well. That is unfortunate for Tony. As you can see, all these other players just starting to extend that lead. That's a great way to start to get back into this race in terms of building up that boost as Future Flash is gonna look to keep things going here, catch up with their teammate Alex, and they're now taking, well, looks like first and third. But looking to try and keep Commandment out of the running as they come around this corner on the wall right. If I'm Future Flash, that's my goal right now. It's not necessarily about winning this race, it's just about stopping your opponent from passing your teammate, because this is a team game. Something to keep in mind here. It's not like our usual head-to-head. It's not like our standard time trial. It's all about playing for that victory. Just one of your two players needs to be in that first place spot. Commandment taking a very similar line to what we saw Alex do in that first lap, but still has a ways to go because Alex has not looked back. This is one of the players that really caught my eye coming into this. Alex, obviously a huge name in the scene, and Tony the Fourth just looks like it's been, unfortunate timing on top of unfortunate timing. Commandment will take a slightly different line here, not making a massive difference because this lead that Alex has built for themselves looking incredible, but you can see it there. Forced to pop the shockwave to try and keep alive both players on top of each other, and I cannot believe it. They are literally on top of each other right now. Future Flash just looking to try and bring down their opponent as much as possible here. Oh my goodness, as they've been able to do it. They passed them in first and second place. Alex will be there and their teammate close behind. That's how you want to start out one of these races. Oh my goodness. iOS certainly delivers a little bit more clean. Players were able to spread themselves out a little bit more, but Alex looking like the player to beat as we get into race number 2. This one's going to be tough. So keep an eye on this as we're getting on into it here. Vehicles have changed color ever so slightly, but that's A-okay. As we're keeping an eye on these two teams. Gosh, this car just looks absolutely gorgeous. Tony the Fourth went for one additional 360 there, which may have affected their speed overall, but okay. Being able to hit off the wall there, no problem. And I believe that is Alex once again out there in first place. But it looks like at least this time, Tony the Fourth has been able to rally and recover, not back there in fourth place. Very much in the running at this point. I'm excited to see what this player can do. They have a huge hurdle to overcome because no, it's Future Flash out the front. And I love that from this team. Both of these players have the capability to be utterly dynamic. Ooh, taking an extra 360 there. That's not something. Do a bit of a floaty drift around the corner. That's interesting. Not something we've seen a lot of these players do over the course of this, and they have lost a little bit of overall top speed, but does result in quite a bit of extra boost for it. And now it's up to Alex to try and play nuisance in the back. What can they do? Had a bit of a rougher start this time around, and at this level of play, it's something we always come back to. If you can get out in front, it's all about just play safe, play smart, play to survive. You don't need to go for the fanciest trick in the book every single time. You just look to play consistently and maintain your lead. And in this case, you have a teammate back there who's just causing an absolute ruckus to be able to try and give you as much potential to keep advancing as possible. And they are toe-to-toe, neck and neck. And Alex is not content to be in fourth place. Oh, no. Already passing one of the players on the opposing side and has the other one set in their sights. And are they about to do this 2 races in a row? Not only take the win, but do so in such a way where both players are in first and second. This is incredible to watch. Keeping an eye on it coming up towards the end of this race. And yeah, Future Flash way too far out. I think this is going to be a 2-0. Not a chance that Commandment is going to be able to take this race. And they know it's over. That's going to be GG. That's going to be the race in the books. Future Flash rounds that final turn. And just like that, we have our semifinal done. Wow, blink and you miss it. These players setting a blistering pace as we take a look at our updated bracket, advancing on to the grand finals. Well, Commandment 20 to 4 still have an opportunity to keep erasing, though, down there in that third place match. And this next one's going to be interesting. FRA, Ahmad, and Amog, and Barbie. This one's going to be interesting. Some names I know a little bit less, but I'm excited to see what these players can do. Now, is it FRA? I'm going to go with FRA on this one. Bart Rodrigo. I love the confidence of someone who just puts their name as their hand. That's someone you don't want to mess with. As we get into our first race here, our second semifinal on the iOS platform. Let's see what these players can do. As we're seeing RPM FRA in the orange McLaren. Ooh, love that color. So we're starting things off strong out there in first place. And this seems to be the general consensus on this line, on this route, is that you jump up to that upper bridge and then jump back down. Bart Rodrigo, though, starting things out in fourth place. And I love to see every single variation there. Floaty drifts into a bit of a wall ride in the corner. Still able to catch that barrel, though, which is really nice. A little bit of line there. And I was hopefully catch them up a little bit. Okay. Wow, when they get close to those walls, I have to say. So my heart just skips a beat there for a second as we see a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4 on the line, but unfortunate there. Hits that jump, not quite the angle they were looking for. So now it's a Moog in this third place spot. The teammate is down and out. It all comes down to them. The two members of RPM up there in first and second. Maybe not for long, though. Doesn't feel comfortable to take the jump. Well, instead to take this inside route instead because of the timing there. And these two players looking absolutely solid because now really it's a 1v2. Bart Rodrigo, they crashed. There's very little chance of them being able to recover to get back into this race. So it all comes down to a Mo to try and bring them back into this for the squad, play for the team. But FRA has been out there in first place since the outset and has yet to look back, continuing to keep this line looking clean, looking polished. Ooh, and yeah, Mo just doesn't seem to quite have the same level of speed, able to maintain this up at the top, is doing every little trick they can, though, but the gap is continuing to widen, and it really seems like Ahmad and FRA are looking absolutely confident up here at the front of the race as we're going to round these final few corners. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop them from taking race number one. Looking incredibly solid here as we're going into the end of this. And yeah, all right. If you're the two players, that's all right. If you're Mo, if you're Bart Rodrigo, that's okay. You just have to shake this one off. You just have to reset here. A few things didn't necessarily go according to plan, but that's okay. You have an opportunity to rally and recover. It is a best of three after all. But you got to do it right here in race number 2. Can they get it done? Can they bring us to the ace match? Can they bring us to race number 3? That is the question. And already off to a lead? That's what you want to see from these players, especially if you were out early in that first race. Get an early lead and hold on to it with both hands. You cannot let one of these RPM players get you in their sight. And already, it seems like that is going to be the case. Ahmad almost crashing there. We're seeing players toe-to-toe, bumper to bumper, all ready to start out this race. And this one's looking close. The question now becomes, can they overcome that player up there at the front? Who is it? Oh, Moog's in the back, which means it's Bart Rodrigo. Bart who crashed. Oh, well, okay, they're going to have to not do so because this time it's a Moog who went down early, which means just like in race number 1, but in reverse, Bart Rodrigo has all the pressure on their shoulders. They got an early lead. They need to play an absolutely flawless run, but FRA is hot on their heels. We're talking 1 or 2 car lengths behind, a few seconds separating these two players, these two teams, because of course they are racing as a team. And we're keeping an eye on FRA, and I have to say, the little movements that Bart Rodrigo is doing here, the nitro efficiency in particular, is really impressing me. Ahmad is back here as well, so this basically is looking to be a 2-horse race at this point. It's Bart Rodrigo, it's FRA up there at the front. They are continuing to extend their lead. These two racers, man, it makes me wonder what would have happened if Bart hadn't crashed in that very first race, because he's looking incredibly fast. And this seems to be the consensus here. Once you crash, you're basically out at this point. You are too far gone. and in, I think, a lot of instances, almost too far gone even to be able to help your teammate out. FRA, though, is continuing to just push this vehicle as far as it can go, but it doesn't seem like it'll be enough because Bart is continuing this lead, continue to extend it. And unless Bart wrecks here, I don't think there's a chance that FRA is going to be able to catch them. Which, I mean, great for us, because that means we're going to see a race number 3. I asked if we were going to see an ace match. Looks like the answer is absolutely going to be yes. Bart just needs to hold on, clutch it out for these next few seconds, make it to the end of this track. Don't look back. The finish line, the checkered flag is in sight, and yes, they did. We are going to see a race number 3. Yes, that's what I want. We only saw 2 in the first iOS, so that's okay. That's okay. This time, we get to see a race number 3. So let's go. Let's get into it here on iOS. Who is going to be advancing on to the finals? That's the question. Mod starting things off in that pole position, will be in first place. How long can they keep it? Well, about 1 second is the answer. Great job, Paul. That's already bumping their way into first place and forcing a mistake out from Ahmad. Barely was able to recover it. Actually able to keep pretty good speed. I ended up throwing in at least one extra 360 there and another one again. Ahmad, I think, tilting a little bit, which means FRA is going to have to step in and take things over. But it's Bart Rodrigo once again. I started things off. I don't know if you recall it going into semifinal. There was something profoundly threatening of someone who puts their name as their handle. That's a person with confidence right there. They're putting it all out there. And Bart Rodrigo is certainly looking to do that. They are continuing to extend this lead, and I feel like we're walking into a case of deja vu. But this time, at least, Amog not crashing, able to pick up the 3rd place spot, passing Ahmad, which is big because they could potentially play spoiler to FRA. This is a big one here because FRA, we know would have it in them, potentially try and catch up here. But that's going to be increasingly difficult when you have another player just at your back, maybe messing up your lines. Just that little bit, just that extra bit of physicality in all this can certainly get into these players' heads. As Ahmad back there in 4th place, we'll see what they're going to be able to offer to this as well. Forced to take a slightly different line just off the back of that 360, but nicely done there, able to recover. That's the line they were looking to pick up in that very first lap. But it still comes down to that player way off in the distance. The player no one seems to be able to catch. The player who unfortunately wrecked in race number 1, but who I wonder may have been able to clutch this out 2-0 had they not. Bart Rodrigo running away with this race. Zero hesitation, zero doubt, all skill, all precision, all execution up there at the front of the pack. And they aren't looking back, only forward, only speed, as they're looking to race their way on to our finals on iOS. And I don't think there's another player in the lobby who's going to be able to stop them. Bart, way out there at the front. I can't even see them on our screen. They've done it. They've gotten it done. They've got that checkered flag. GG. Bart and Amog able to take that first place spot in a hard-fought best of 3 there on iOS. We've got an updated bracket to see how it all shook out. They're going to be going up against Future Flash and Alex, and that is going to be an epic race. But a race that will have to delay slightly because we still have some more semifinals coming up. Next, the Windows players have still got to be able to throw their hats in the ring here. But man, these finals for Android and iOS so far, they're looking pretty darn exciting. Let's take a look over at Windows, though. Who will be joining those upper echelons? Well, that's the question. These are a lot of players who I'm a little bit less familiar with. I haven't really had the opportunity to cast the Windows players quite as much, so I cannot wait to see what they can bring to the table here. This one's going to be a ton of fun. A lot of racers here from the Pro Club. Excited to see what they're going to be able to do as we take a look at our first semi-final matchup. And this one's going to be a ton of fun. Racer Best, Afik Eman versus Arsonist, and Axe was better. Again, I mentioned Bart Rodrigo. Afik, now I'm looking at you. Will the trend continue? But you also have a teammate whose name is literally Racer Best. So I'm expecting good things with a name like that. Let's see what these players can do as we get into our first semifinal here on Windows. Who will be advancing on to the finals on this platform? That's the question. As already teammates up at each other's grills a little bit, and that's actually the danger of this. You know, teammates can kind of get in each other's way just a touch, and already Axe was better. Well, the wall was better in this case. Afik Eman already off to a high-flying start, looking fantastic. And hey, I talked about the trend. You put your name as your handle, and you're looking pretty scary already. We'll see how Racer Best is shaking up here in the pack as well, as Afik Iman already with a great line coming around these corners. And that's the great thing about this McLaren. Look at the way it takes these corners. Absolutely flawless, and slightly different case of some of these players, slightly different lines. Some going for the wall ride into the barrel, some opting to play a little more down the middle. But it looks like Racer Best is there in second place as well, going to be keeping Arsonist back. And we saw that wreck early, which means Axe was better basically out of this race. You cannot make a mistake at this level of play, so it comes down to Arsonist in a 1v2. Can they advance? Pops the shockwave, takes that edge a little bit, tries to get as much airspeed as possible. You're going to see teams doing this as much as they possibly can here. They're trying to get airtime in order to maximize that speed, because it all comes down to trying to get that top speed up and keep it there. As Afik, absolutely clean, able to take this, and Axe was better. Oh man, just way at the back there. Like I said before, the second you start to fall out, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't look, you can't get back. I don't know what to say. And Arsonist as well. I mean, I almost wonder if this is a little bit on purpose, if Racer Best is intentionally just staying back a little bit just to make sure that they're right in front of Arsonist, to make sure that Afik can have this first place absolutely undisturbed. Absolutely no bother, no worries, easy peasy. So, all right, keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on how this race closes out, as we're seeing, okay. All right, Afik, can you get it done? For a second, I thought are they going to wreck at the final hurdle? That would be absolutely sad. That would be very disheartening. But no, able to get the win here on our first race. But it's only one. This is a best of 3 after all. Can the player shake it off? Can they reset? Okay, no problem. That's just one race. The key here is to not go on tilt, and that's what I need to see as we go into race number 2. Arsonist, Axe, you got it. You got to do it here. Axe, I need you to not wreck within the first 20 seconds of this race. I need to see what you can do here, because that's part of the problem. These racers could be absolutely phenomenal. We saw it with Bart Rodrigo in that last one. You know, but if they wreck early, we don't get to see the potential of what they have in store. But Racer Best off to the front. And this is we've seen this with a lot of these really, really great teams. The player who gets first can hold on to it. Afik took it in game number 1. Now Racer Best is here in race number 2. Will they drop down? Yes, indeed. Back up again. Okay, yes. Go for that 360. Clean, easy, secure, no problem. Afik actually had a bit of a rough start in the player. And that's just what we're talking about at this level of play. The racer who was leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else at the start of that. I almost wonder if he wrecked. He must have. He's way too far behind him. Anything else have happened. So now it's a 1v2 in the other direction. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is what I like to see. This is the kind of high-flying action that we're looking for here. All right, let's go. Who can get it done? Axe comes in second place. Racer Best is still out to pretty significant lead, though. This one's going to be tough to overcome. Axe is taking this really, really nice, though. Again, as much little bit of airspeed as he can muster. He's going to be doing it here. And we've seen players do that so many times. Catch that corner a little bit early. We'll pop the shockwave immediately. Racer Best, again, continuing to look for these little hops, these little bounces. I wonder if there's a specific name for that. Little bunny hop? We're going to call it a bunny hop, at least for now. Oh, look at the way they get back out of that. The brake usage is absolutely phenomenal. Not 1 second spent too long in that 360. Absolutely primed, ready to get right back on track. As we're seeing Arsonist as well, right behind Axe, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch Racer Best, who's out here at the front looking absolutely impeccable. This might just be a 2-0, as I don't see any chance, any hope. Oh, of coming back from that one. Both players showed they had the potential to get that one done, and well, that's it. That's our first semifinal in the books here for Windows. Let's take a look at our updated bracket and let's take a look at how things are going to continue. Oh, wait, we're going to game 3. Wait. Am I backwards? Hang on. I'm being told we have a game number 3. So we do? All right. So I guess maybe we had a little bit of an issue there. Maybe a name tag was wrong. I was under the impression that we were seeing a 2-0, but apparently not. Apparently that is not the case at all. Race number 3, so I guess winner takes all in this one. Heck yes. Oh, absolutely, 100%. Oh, there's actually 4 games in this race in our semifinal. All right, so maybe potentially looking at a best of 5 here. Interesting. All right, get some clarification on looking at 4 races here in our semifinal. We'll keep an eye out for that one. And hey, I don't mind. As more races, the better. So let's keep an eye on these 4 players continuing to work their way through. And Windows doing things a little bit different, but I absolutely love it. Oh, all right. I'd like to look at some additional points here. Interesting. All right, so we're taking a look for points for the draw. Okay, that's why. Getting some additional races in to gather some of these additional points. That's absolutely why. All right, let's take a look. We're going to be seeing some more races here. We absolutely love to see it. As we're seeing Afik now here in 3rd place. Taking a look at going into the 2nd lap now. Axe was better now out here in the front. And this is huge because this is the first time a player from this team has actually been able to build any sort of significant lead for themselves. And this is exactly the kind of confidence booster that they need. Huge play coming in from them. And they are looking absolutely clean coming into this. The timing on these shockwaves is flawed. And look at the way they take that corner. Not a millimeter was spared. And Arsonist is right behind them as well. So holding that 1-2 position, absolutely huge here for this squad, leaving, or at least leaving some redundancy to not let this team let this lead slip away from them and win this 3rd race. Oh, me, oh my. This is exactly what we're looking for here from this squad. Down, but not out. And I talked about this going into that 2nd race. You have to shake it off. You can't let yourself go on tilt. You need to be able to reset, run the race you know you can run the lines that you know, that you've practiced, because these players have spent hours, hundreds, possibly thousands of hours racing, figuring this out, playing this game, continuing to refine. As now we're going into a 4th race here, 2-1. This is what I like to see. Well, they end up coming back, I believe, now in a best of 5. That's what we're looking for here. Will we go all the way? Will we go all the way? That's the question. As we're seeing Arsonist now off to a 1st place. Are we going to see all 4? Okay, never mind. Feek said no. I said, are we going to see all 4 players get a nice early 1st place lead here? Is that what we're going to have happen? The answer was absolutely not. Afik was having none of it. The player who came out in 1st place to start things off, who took race number 1, says, no. I will be taking this series, good sir. Move on out of the way. And they did so in style. Zero hesitancy on that one. The timing on that shockwave was flawless, catching their opponent off guard. And man, they are just hitting the ceiling is what they're doing. But luckily, it seemed like their teammate was able to pass them there. Man, the second I start to hype them up, I need to stop. The caster curse is in full effect tonight as Axe is able to rip their way in neck and neck with Racer Best. Both of these teams have taken a race so far, and neither one of them wants to go down yet. Oh my goodness, look at the way they are taking these corners. This is the kind of racing that I love to see. Exact timing on the back of that shockwave, taking slightly different lines coming into this though. And it looks like Racer Best, yes, going to continue to take this upper route. No problem, no questions asked, and looking to continue to extend this lead. Okay, as we're seeing Afik here in 3rd place, may look to try and slow down Axe here going around this corner. Yes, goes for the shockwave, is able to bump into them, both teams, players on top of each other, but that's the slowdown. They wrecked, it doesn't even matter. The damage is done. Axe got the better of that particular exchange, may have won the battle, but I think we'll lose the war. That was the bit of additional space that they needed. That's the space that Racer Best was. And just like this, Axe was better, is watching this race, this series slip away from them. They're trying to recover, they're trying to rally back, but only a few more turns. It would take a miracle. Racer would have to absolutely choke to give up this lead. And at this point, I don't think that's going to happen, as they are going to be able to take it. Racer Best gets it done here on Windows. And I got a bit of my head of myself there. And in the end, this team, who I did call the win, was able to do so 3-1. Absolutely stellar here as we're taking a look at our next semifinals. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but I was gonna say I need a break. which is kind of true, but we don't need a break here because we have more races in store for us. The second semifinal, it's Doctator and Bexat going up against Driver 3223 and Default Value, spelled in the most elite gamer way I have ever seen. Absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait to see what these players can bring to the table. We're getting into our second semifinal. Let's get things going. Let's get the races underway. We don't want to stop. We don't want to slow down. We just want to see more as Default Value coming in hot, able to take this first place spot. But for how long is the question. I mean, just the way these players take these turns, they leave absolutely zero margin for error. 360 coming in there. The Driver 3-2. Oh my good. Okay. Well, that was almost 2 wrecks back-to-back. At least one player hit the dirt, as now we're seeing Pro Bexat coming in here in 3rd place. Both teammates looking to try and overtake that player up at the front. I believe it's still Default Value up there, and this might be the pass. Can they take the corner? Yes, they do! Avoid the wall ride. Don't hit the barrel quite correctly, though. It may immediately give it up on top of each other. No! Default Value takes it back in an instant, giveth and taketh away. And you can't make any mistakes. A fantastic play immediately overcome. That's what I like to see here. This is the absolute highest level of competition. Everyone bringing out every single trick in the book and on the fly, making some new ones. We are witnessing magic on the screen as we head into lap number 2, as Doctator needs to make magic happen and try and overcome this, because wow, what incredible play from Default Value. I believe, stop it there at the front. It's taking slightly different lines. See if it's going to make much of a difference. No, it seems to be more of a stylistic choice, if anything. Immediately back, locked right in on track off of that 360, but it actually seems like a couple combinations of nice little plays there. Doctator may actually be able to take the lead, gets the gold boost as well coming into the corner, and just like that, is able to get that lead right on back. Default Value's been holding strong this entire race, but Doctator waited, calm, cool, collected, composed, goes for the jugular when it matters most, coming into these final few turns, and I don't think Default Value's gonna be able to get it back. Doctator bided their time, and they did it so beautifully, going around these final few twists and turns, the bends, all for that win here in race number 1. That might be some of the best technical racing we've seen yet today. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They built up their boost, and when the time came, they executed. Fantastic results in race number 1. Let's go into race number 2. Let's see if their opponents are going to be able to strike back. So we're seeing Default Value once again off to an early lead, but can they hold it? That's the question. I mean, given how good these racers have looked so far, I'm not going to keep anything for granted at this point. I don't want to make any assumptions. As we're seeing Default Value, though, once again able to maintain off the back of the pole position. This is huge. And again, as we slow things down, players are going fast. I want to slow things down. Remind you that the player up in first place has so much pressure on their back, has so much pressure upon them to just not mess up. Every other player is looking at you. Everyone else is vying for you. Everyone else is gunning for you. But in the case of this case, Bexat and Doctator, I actually think they're in 3rd and 4th right now. Yes, they are. So they have to overcome both of their opponents, both of these players. In this case, Driver 3223 as well in 2nd place. Perfect timing. We'll need to, again, play that gatekeeper, goalkeeper, whatever it is. They're the bouncer. They ain't letting anyone in, as they're taking these corners really well. That one may be a little bit harder than they wanted to, but they're able to take the wall rides really, really well, conserve a lot of speed and momentum. And wow, look at this nitro efficiency. Absolutely beautiful. But Doctator back here, looking to try and pat. We saw how well they did just against Default Value, but this time they have 2 players to overcome. Don't have quite as much boost to work with. And look at this. Oh my goodness. All right. As players are going in, landing right on top of each other, actually able to wreck his opponent. Doctator, okay. All right. That was absolutely disgusting. That was incredible. This man is a mercenary. Absolutely. I have no more words. Dangerous. And we talk about dirty racing. That's how you get things done. That's how you go for the win, but they still have one more hurdle to overcome, and they're able to close the gap a decent amount, but how much further can they push it? Default Value Can Default Value keep this lead, keep it extended? We're getting towards the end of this race, not a whole lot of time. Can Dictator find it in them to pass them here at the final hurdle? I don't know, it's getting so close, but Default Value, I think, may have it here unless they mess up, unless something happens, unless something goes horribly wrong. They are going to be able to take this race, and yes, they do. Okay. All right, that's race number 2 in the books across all these players here, garnering for these points as we're looking at race number 3. Let's get things going. Do they have enough? Will they have enough to get things done here? As again, a reminder, all these players are accumulating these points here. They're vying for. You need a certain amount of points in order to continue to extend, which is what we're talking about in terms of tie breaks and everything. I talk about best of 3 and best of 5, etc. But really, it's also about accumulating these points for both of these players. So you need to be able to get things done when it matters most. It is still very much a team game. So let's take an eye on who's going to be able to do so here. Dictator, almost able to do the unthinkable in that last game and pass 2 additional players. Will they be able to do it again? But I actually think it's their teammate up there in second place. This Default Value, this time back and forth, may have had a bit of a rougher start, I think, but not so far behind. They won't be able to recover entirely. As I say that, they're pretty far behind. Maybe Default Value is kind of out of this one. The Bexat is here in second place, which means it's driver 3223 up there in first place. Will they be able to do enough to advance? That's the question. That's what we're looking towards here. Can they maintain the lead? Can they maintain the pace? And I want to remind folks, like, these players are doing this in quick succession. To be able to maintain this high level of play and concentration, there's a lot of minute technical things that they're executing over and over again. To be able to do that in time trial is one thing. To be able to do that with a single opponent is another thing. But to be able to do it when there are 3 other racers in the lobby, that takes a whole other level of skill, of commitment, and drive. And driver 3223 is looking to continue to keep up the excellent performance we've seen from them so far. And Bexat, I'm looking at this lead, and it doesn't seem to have gotten any smaller. It seems like Driver has just been able to maintain the distance that they've set for themselves. But as I say that, maybe, just maybe, Bexat has been able to close it a little bit, but they are going to need to pull out every single trick in the book to get it done. This one's going to be close. We're coming towards the end of this race. I'm not sure if they have enough. I don't think they have enough boost. I don't think they've got enough nitro. I don't think they've got enough time. As driver 3223 looking absolutely clean. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Just good, solid fundamentals and enough to do it for them and their team here. Because that's going to be the semifinal done and dusted. Just like that. Come back able to get the victory. All right, that's it. That's it for our semifinals. Let's take a look back at our bracket here. Let's see how everything shook out after that one. Third place, seeing it here. And actually looks like the combined points there. Dictator and Bexat were actually able to advance. They had enough points to be able to make it through. Oh my goodness, the teamwork. Oh my, okay, wow. Despite driver 3223's incredible racing there at the end, it didn't matter. The team had done enough. Dictator, the play that Dictator made was good enough to advance them. Oh, points are confusing. But that's incredible because that means we got to go back to Android. And I think I may have messed up earlier on then. I think I may have. Looking at things. Yeah. All right. This is our grand finals. These are our final brackets here for Androids. Android. Sukti, Onio. Oh man, they've got the work cut out for them. This one is going to be a ton of fun as we take a look towards our grand final match here. Oh baby, let's go. Let's take a look at it. Let's not delay any longer. Sukti, Onio, Jimbalate, PE, or maybe just Jimble. Jim, and Aeonian. All right. I'm pretty sure Aeonian is a scale, a musical scale, often played on guitar. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. We'll see if they're going to be able to sing a tune of victory as we get into our grand finals here. Let's not delay any longer. Let's get things started for Android. Let's rock and roll. for the 2021 Team Challenge. Let's get things underway. New York has been the place to get it done. The McLaren Senna is the vehicle with which they will carve their victory. And Sukti already just taking a very uncluttered, uncongested, unbothered, in their lane opening as they have bypassed everybody to start things off. All right, this is what we're looking for here. So we're keeping an eye on who is in second place, and it is going to be Jim. We're going to go with Jim, because that's just easier to say. Elite Jim. We know Elite Joe. You know, and where's Elite Joe? That's my other question. You know Elite Joe. This is Elite Jim coming in, see what they can do. As we're seeing Aeonian coming in third as well, which means we are basically perfectly stacked. 1, 2, 2, and 4 for both of these teams. Points, of course, what these players we look to accumulate as they push their way through these races. And this seems okay. Well, that's how you don't take that corner. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, as that player is going to be basically down and out of it here. Onio now from RPM going to have to step up into this third place spot. They are still pretty far back though, which basically again makes this a 2-horse race, and again takes his corner. This is what I'm talking about. These players are executing a marathon at this point as Elite Jimbalate. Sometime we're going to figure it out. We're going to do it together, team. Has to try and take down Sukti up there at the front. Sukti has just looked incredible all day long. All right. And we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. That's my big question. Can they be overcome? Oh, Elite Jimbalate looking really darn close here, but we're coming around these final few turns. Can Sukti just hold on that little bit longer? Can't even put the perfect nitro on this one. We'll drift around the corner, avoid that wall, which has been disaster for a few players over the course tonight. Pick up the nitrous, and yeah, that's the boost, and that's it. Clean, calm, cool, easy. Getting it done there. Race number 1 going in their favor. Beautiful play from Sukti. That's only the first one of our grand finals. We still have quite a few more in store as we get into race number 2. Let's go. Let's not keep this delayed. Let's not slow things down at all. These players are chomping at the bit, is the expression. So we'll see. We'll see who will be able to continue this. As this time it's Onio. Okay, who are they racing up against? Pushing them into the wall. One of these players is potentially going to go down here. Who is it going to be? Teammates on top of each other as well, as Sukti's going to come in and just take it away. Everybody's trying to knock each other. The shockwave is there, but in the... Sukti got spun out? Okay. He actually tried to 360 his opponent. I'm not sure if he's able to get the demo, though. Oh my, this race has been absolute carnage. Are we on the set of Mad Max? Because that's what we're witnessing here. This is violence to start the, well, not real violence. It's, you know, they're vehicles. They're having fun. They're driving. They're racing. That's what we like to see. Oh boy. Tony was forced. Actually, wait. Was able to take second. I am actually floored. Oh man. All right. I don't have much more to say about this. That opening just took my breath away. As now Elite Jimbalate is able to push into this third place. Aeonian struggling as 3 members from RPM all vying for the number 1 spot. And of course, that €3,000 first place prize. They're guaranteed at least $1,500 for the team. They would really love to get that $3,000 in their pocket. As Aeonian all the way here at the back. I believe did end up going down through all of that. So pretty much out of this race, it all comes down to Jimbalate. Can they overcome the 2 players, Sukti and Onio? I mean, we know how good these 2 are. We've seen Sukti. Onio has been in this level of competition. Like, both of these players are absolutely top tier, and it gives me no surprise in the slightest, that we are seeing them in a prime position to win also this race number 2, continuing to accrue those points. Even more points needed for this grand finals. Ooh, Onio. And this is already having the safety and security of another player in first place. Well, the fact that they weren't even passed from that shows just how much of a lead both of these players ended up garnering for themselves. I'm sitting back. I'm relaxing. Because this race, easy. Over. GG. Done. Race number 2 in the books. No questions asked. And that's kind of what I expect to see from players at this level. Once they get ahead like that, they don't make mistakes. They just play calm. They slow, as much as they speed up, they slow everything down. Make sure they're not making any errors that could be potentially exploited. But that's only race number 2. We got some more. Can Jimblade, can Aeonian, can they come back? They need to start the turnaround right here. Can they find a win in race number 3? This would be absolutely critical for them, because if they don't, pretty sure that's just it. Pretty sure that's just game over. So let's go into our third race. Let's check out this third race. Can they find it in them to recover? But with Onio starting out in this pole position, that's going to make their lives even that much more difficult, because Onio has been looking incredibly solid. Maybe not quite as flashy as Sukti, who's been out there in the lead quite a bit, but Onio is a rock. Absolutely solid, absolutely consistent. So we'll see how they are able, again, put on that clinic like I'm talking about, especially because Sukti's in 4th. So, all right, this is big here, as Jimbolate and Aeonian are right there in the center of the pack on our little mini peloton, as they're going to look to overcome Onio in first place. But Sukti hot on their heels. Look at the way they take these corners. Look at the handling on this McLaren. Oh my goodness. It is incredible to watch players at this level execute on the strats. It doesn't matter how busy the roads get, how chaotic it seems. They are staying cool through all of it. And Jimbolate is saying a hard pass. Absolutely not. That player potentially looking to overcome them here. As you can see, all these players taking these different lines. Jimbolate didn't feel comfortable. They were a fraction of a second too late to take that earlier turn. They took the later one. But Aeonian has been unable to pass their opponent up here at the front. They really need to. If they really want to start to come back on these points, they desperately, and I mean desperately, need to get this win here. Otherwise, I mean, that's going to be so tough to overcome, basically leaving no margin for error, as they are continuing to keep the press on towards that €3,000 first place prize, the championship, the title. That's what's on the line for these players. And Onio, the Rock, is looking absolutely unfazed up there. Look at the way that brake control, absolutely phenomenal. Not quite into a floaty drift, but potentially, they could, if they wanted to, take those corners just a little bit more, continue to maximize that boost as much as possible. There it is, though, floaty drift into the corner. You can see it just continue to extend that lead. We'll take this first corner here, hit the blue, hit the wall, into the ramp. Trident doesn't even need to. Takes that corner so beautifully, one after another, and look at this, timing that shockwave so well as they get the win here in race number 3. And I mean, they're so close in terms of points. They are so close in terms of points. I think they only need one more race in order to secure the whole thing. Will they be able to get it done? Or will the epic comeback begin for their opponents? Let's see race number 4. Will this be for all the marbles? Will this be for the victory? Or will this be a chance for Elite Jimbolate PE and RPM Aeonian to be able to mount their comeback? Because they, so far, have been a little bit farther behind. They need to step things up, as you can see just how close, quite literally up in each other's grills. And pushed out of the way. We're playing bumper cars, as Onio and Sukti, they weren't in first and second, and they said, I ain't having it. I am not about that life. First and second, love that for us, as they are now doing just that. They just pushed their way in. Like, there was an ice cream stand just came down the street, little truck rolled by, and they said, I gotta be first in line for ice cream, baby, let's go. As Sukti back in first place, the player, the most consistent, to the point where I'm almost wondering if this is intentional. I'm almost wondering if they're playing this. Sukti takes the lead, plays smart, plays cool, doesn't get flustered, just executes the route. And Onio is back scouting, making sure their opponents can't pass them, making sure their opponents can't get anything together, messing up their lines, messing up their rhythm. It happens so consistently now. I think this is 3 out of 4 races where that's been the case. And Aeonian was able to pass them, though, so they're in second place. This is huge. Aeonian needs to take the victory here. They need to get this win, because if they don't, that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. That is going to be Android done and dusted. Onio in third place, continuing to say, look, all right, here are our opponents. I'm not sure if they're on voice comms or not. I'm not sure how this is all working, but either way, they've got an eye on their opponent. They've got to go try and disrupt them as much as possible. As Aeonian's actually been able to close the gap a little bit here. Sukti still has the lead. How long, man? Able to get the gold and into the ramp there? And that's the kind of little play that Sukti has just been doing so well. And Aeonian going for the wall ride, but I think in this case, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Sukti's done it here as we're going around these final corners. I think that's going to be GG. RPM Sukti, RPM Onio are going to be your Android winners. Congratulations to both of them. GG. They get it done. They get that €3,000 first place prize. Congratulations. They put on a flawless finish. I think 4 for 4 there. Able to get those wins. Wow. I don't know if we're going to see another win like that. That was clean. It was really clean. Let's take a look at our final bracket, though. Let's see how our third place match ended up. Let's see our grand finals. Yes, resolved there. Sukti, Onio able to take it. And RPM Rev, Urcelex, and RPM Prime were able to take down the Lone Warrior, the Diesel Dragon. And in a 2v1, I can't say I'm overly surprised. That is a tough mountain to climb, a tough challenge to overcome. But props to Diesel Dragon for still having one of the clutchest names in the game, I do say. Android, though, in the books. Let's go to iOS. We've done Android. iOS is up next. Let's see and remind ourselves about this final bracket. Who made it here to our grand finals? It's going to be RPM Alex Future Flash, FRA and Ahmad, and then down there, Commandment, Bart Rodrigo. They won, but they still didn't advance. No. Oh man, the points will get you. In the end, the points will get you. So FRA and Ahmad were able to make it here to the grand finals. So 3 out of 4 again in our grand finals, I believe, for RPM. Man, this club, if you are looking to be a top tier racer in Asphalt 9 Legends, RPM apparently is the place to be. Oh my goodness, they are putting up incredible performances across the board. But Future Flash, not someone to be undersung at all. They have been an incredible racer as well, but in a vacuum, I kind of have to favor Alex and Future Flash here a little bit, but this could be anyone's game. I can't wait to see who's going to come out on top. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get into our finals for iOS. Here, the Asphalt Series Team Challenge 2021. Let's rock and roll. Let's get things going. RPM Alex, Future Flash, RPM FRA, RPM Ahmad. Try saying all those 5 times fast. I dare you, double dare you. But speaking of fast, that's what these players are looking to do right here. As Alex sitting in 3rd place, it looks like Ahmad and FRA both were able to take an early lead. So I may be eating my words real quick. Oh, as I say that though, Shockwave comes in. That little nudge actually, almost hurt the line there a little bit. Ahmad, nerves of steel though. Okay. Everything's fine. This is fine. This is the dog meme. This is fine. That was not how they meant to take that. But the fact they didn't wreck, I think, is a victory that they will take. Because it looks like Future Flash and Alex able to take the 2nd and 3rd place position now. Yes. FRA though is still out there in 1st. Has been taking this course beautifully, really capitalizing on the handling and the nitro efficiency of this vehicle. Taking these corners again, we're talking millimeters to the rail. And they don't even hesitate. Floaty drift around the corner. Alex has been doing that a lot, really just trying to maximize his holds on for the nitro just a little bit longer, trying to get as much airspeed as possible. You're looking at thinking like, man, they're taking all these bumps. That is completely intentional. Every millisecond counts in a game that is this close. As we're seeing Alex just desperately trying to close the gap. Future Flash in 3rd. We'll see if they're going to be able to contribute here. As much as anything, it's just keeping Ahmad back. It's just making sure that they aren't able to get into this 1 and 3 position. So we're starting to get towards the end of this. Alex needs to make a move. We've seen passing happening at this course in the track, but I mean, no openings. FRA is leaving no openings. I would say a perfect race being raced by FRA here. There is no gap in the armor. There is no way to make it back. Look at that. Beautiful, hits the ground, Shockwave, instant cancel, perfect nitro. Get it done. GG, game number 1 in the books. FRA, wow. I mean, get ahead early and don't look back. There's a lot of chaos happening behind them. bumper cars, as it were, but not letting any of that get to them in race number 1. Let's get to race number 2. Let's not stop. Let's keep things rolling. The players are hot. They're on fire, ready to see who will claim victory on iOS. As teammates trying not to run into each other here, trying to leave a little bit of space, but leaving a little bit of space, leave some space for your opponent potentially. Can be taking both routes here, and I actually like this. It doesn't make a huge difference in terms of overall speed, but what it does is helps to not keep things so congested, because you don't want to run into your teammate. You don't want to disrupt them as much as you're disrupting your opponent. So FRA, once again, out here in first place. I don't know what it is about this player. Again, I get big Elite Joe vibes. Once they get that ahead early, it's like a dog with a bone. You're just not going to get it away from them, because they just don't make any errors, and it just puts all the onus on their opponents, all the pressure on them. And the pressure may be getting to them, because I think they actually wrecked on each other there. And that's unfortunate. I think it's the first time we've seen that. I think that's the first team KO that we've seen in this race so far, and that is, who survived? That's the question. Oh, we're going to get a chance to see whether, oh yeah, Ahmad, okay, you're not going to make that. Okay, brings it right back. So not the ideal ramp they're looking to take there. So it's, again, a bit of a two-horse race, but who was it? Was it Alex or Future Flash that was able to survive? It was Alex. Casualties, friendly fire, casualties of war. Oh no, unfortunate. As they are now hot on the heels once again of FRA. And this one's going to be tricky, because again, FRA just looks impenetrable. And I kind of had Alex and Future Flash pegged as the favorites coming into this, but I don't think that's the case. Oh man, FRA is just looking way too clean. Just the way this line works. They drift exactly as much as necessary to take them to the point of boost that they need to be at. And then the second they have it, boom, they are right back into it. But Alex knows those same tricks, but that lead looks maybe an inch smaller than it did before. As I say this though, Alex maybe, just maybe, these final few corners will be able to get something done. FRA doesn't quite take that corner, I think, exactly as he meant to. Maybe this is the opening. Maybe this is the chance for Alex to take it up, but no, FRA. There was a second, I don't know if you caught it. In second place for 1 second, you could see it flash on the top of the screen. Alex was there at FRA, and quite literally the final second of the race, able to get the win again. I don't know if my heart can take this, guys. This is too close. This is too close, and there's still more races. Okay. All right, let's just keep it going. I may need a drink of water in this next race, but we'll just get into it. We'll just go, start the race. Let's see what these players can do. Because, wow, okay. All right. I'm okay. We're good. We can do it. Race number 3. All right. Leaps and bounds. Let's go. Who will get it done? Who will get it done? As FR, who's going to take this lead? No. Come on, Future Flash. Demo your opponents this time, not yourself. As we're jumping into it. All right, I'm going to grab a sip of water, and you can just watch the absolute chaos on your screen unfold. And we're back. Okay, it was quick. All right, I made it really dramatic, but it's not. Not as dramatic as this lead that Ahmad and FRA have been able to garner for themselves right now. And I love the space they're giving each other. They're holding the same line, but they're doing so perfect. They are leaving an impenetrable wall of defense. Getting past one of them, maybe possible right there. Okay, definitely possible. But good luck getting past both. So now, Ahmad, you're on cleanup duty. Woo, okay. Well, now you're on double cleanup duty. All right. Who am I kidding? It's Future Flash and Alex. They are going to leave any opening, and they're not going to leave any opening open. They are going to jump right on through, and it comes down to FRA once again, far and away up there in first place. It's pronounced Fra or something, and I've been saying it wrong this entire time. Look, it's in all caps. This is what we're going with, ladies and gents. This is what we're seeing. And Ahmad back there in fourth is going to have a bit of a mountain to climb, trying to get past both Future Flash and Alex. I think the job at this point is not to get past them, just to disrupt them, just to keep FRA out there in full force in the front to see what they can do. As Alex is here, Future Flash in second place. Oh, almost passing them there. Oh, on the wall. No, FRA holds on. That defense was impeccable. And Alex losing a little bit of speed off of that wide corner wrap will pop the shockwave into the jump, but FRA has been able to maintain. Future Flash, though, I love watching it from this angle. You can see just how close just how close Future Flash has been to passing them time and again, going for that 360, opting for the boost over the speed, but FRA has been able to hold on, and Future Flash, this POV, dangerous, desperate, trying to make it past, and FRA says absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. For 1 second, the lead was given away in first place. Can they maintain it? They absolutely do. RPM FRA. That's a lot of letters and a whole lot of skill. But because of the way the points stacking up, the other two players in the team, in second and third, this one's still close. We're gonna have a couple more races, I think, in store here to really, truly determine who is getting that first place prize in the €3,000 purse. Let's go. Race number 4 underway. Let's get things going. Will there be a comeback here? I mean, every single race so far has been won by, I think, just by FRA. So that's your thing. That's your line in the stand. That's what you have to beat. And Ahmad goofing early definitely help. And FRA, at least in second place, which means that, wait, someone else also messed up because I only see 3. Okay. All right. FRA, we see you going around the corner. Both shockwaves. Oh, timed, and the wreck comes in. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. But Ahmad is able to capitalize on the speed loss. So yes, you took down FRA, but the damage still done. No, that was the third place player. Oh no, who's way off there in the distance? Who is it going to be? Is it Alex? Is it Future Flash? That knockdown was critical. If you can't beat FRA with pure speed alone, sometimes you got to add a little bit of muscle. Well, it might not be a traditional muscle car, quote unquote. Still got a little bit of muscle in this race. RPM Alex is in third, which means that Future Flash was able to take that knockdown and able to get that first place. This is exactly what the team needed. This is the breath of a life to keep them in this grand finals. They have been competing for weeks to get to this point, and it comes down to this race, or potentially these next few races, if they are able to keep themselves in the game. Future Flash looking so strong, but Alex here as well in third. Teammate who will certainly look to keep Ahmad in check. FRA, I think, is just off the board at this point. That knockdown was critical, absolutely crucial for this team to get. And it means, well, look at Alex too. He's continuing to close the gap here with Ahmad, and wow, continuing the 360. Didn't feel comfortable to go back up on the high ground there with their opponent also doing so. Nice play there, and that's the teamwork that we're looking to see coming in from Ahmad. It would work a lot better if they were in first place. But this just means Alex, look at this, slowing them down. That's it. This is critical. This is huge. And we'll be able to even pass them at the end. That's going to be this race in the books. Beautiful recovery from Alex. Fantastic comeback from Future Flash as they are able to cross that dotted line. Finish line? Ooh. Checkered flag. That means we got a bit of a series on our hands here. Okay, so if I've done my math correctly, if RPM Ahmad and FRA are able to win this, I believe they will win the whole thing. I believe that's what's on the line here. So that's what's at stake. Win or go home. Continue a lot on the line for Alex and Future Flash. Will they be able to get it done, or will the pressure be too much as we get into race number 5 here on our iOS Grand Finals? Let's go. Let's put pedal to the metal, and let's see who will walk away with that $3,000 first place prize. And already FRA and Ahmad in those beautiful, that orange color is just gorgeous, off to an early lead. And Alex can find no opening, but as I say that, one is no! Trying to take advantage of a mistake the opponent makes, and you make a bigger one yourself. And yes, Ahmad is here in third, but it all comes down to Future Flash. That damage may already be done. I'm not even sure if they get the win here, if it'll be enough. If the points will stack up too much in their favor, that fourth place could also spell disaster. Future Flash absolutely needs to win, and Alex needs to create an epic comeback of their own. They at least need second and third here, or first and third here. Oh no, this is disaster. And just when you think you have an opening, just when you think you have an opportunity, it is snatched away. The cruel jaws of fate. And Future Flash, though, this is the win condition. You gotta win. And FRA, I believe, FRA there in first place, back in that standard position, and they were able to get that leap. We saw Alex do that exact same jump back in our semifinal, and I was blown away. And see players execute it with such precision is just mind-boggling to me. Mod is here in third, going to try and create as much of a distraction as possible. You can see these alternate lines coming in. Doesn't add a ton of difference. Ooh, Ahmad making a slight error, though. Doesn't get the ramp back up. That will slow them down decently. And basically, well, essentially, just focus in on this 1 and 2. Future Flash, FRA. They've been at each other's throats all game long, but FRA has just looked clean. I think 2 or 3 races already won for this player. Into the wall ride, into the shockwave. Future Flash, though, is still here, still hot on their heels. I don't know if it'll be enough. Even with the teammate in fourth, I don't know if it'll be enough. Even if they get this win, but they still have to get this win. FRA is looking incredible. Trying to take every bump in the road, every spin to perfection, every boost perfectly timed. And the corner of death strikes again. And that'll be it. That'll be GG. That'll be the nail in the coffin as FRA and Ahmad are your iOS champions for 2021. Absolutely stellar play from them, taking everything that was thrown at them and throwing it right back in their opponents' faces. Absolutely beautiful racing from them. Okay, we're either going to take a look at that bracket and just recap it all, or we're going to take a look forward towards Windows. Yes, let's take a look back. Let's recap that last bracket. Let's see how everything shook out as Amog and Bart Rodrigo were able to take the third place match. Yes, no surprise there. Bart, absolutely incredible racer. I'm not really surprised. See that there. But FRA and Ahmad, I'd coming into this, I think our Alex, Future Flash, maybe they got a bit of an edge there, but no. FRA and Ahmad just looked incredible. Absolutely stellar play. And it's one thing to have stellar play when you're out in the lead and no one's contesting you, but they were absolutely being contested. That's it. That's iOS and Android both in the books, which means we just have Windows left. And we saw some really solid racing over on Windows, and I cannot wait to see what these players have in store for us in our grand finals. Let's take a look at our bracket. We saw it there. Despite that finish, that race from driver 3223, they didn't quite have enough in the tank in terms of points to make it to that grand finals. Instead, it was Doctator and Bexat who were able to advance there. Doctator, whew. I'm excited to see what they can do. But my goodness, are they going up against some tough competition? Let's take a look at our grand finals. Let's zoom in to play just that little bit more and see exactly who is going to be racing here, setting the stage for our final. It's Racer Best and Afik from Pro, and also Doctator and Bexat from Pro. Wow, this club, okay. I see what you're doing here. As these players all absolutely know each other. They know each other's habits. They've probably practiced together. They've definitely raced together. They probably discussed tips and tricks. This is going to be even more exciting then, because this is a friendly rival and also maybe a bit of a grudge match. As we get into our grand finals for Windows, let's get this started. Race number 1. Who is going to be able to start things off on the right foot? Who is going to be able to start building momentum for the team? That's the question. Afik and Doctator. Those are the 2 players who really stood out to me in their semifinal matches. Those are the players that I'm really going to have my eyes on. But I mean, all 4 of them are absolutely incredible. Anyone on any race could absolutely take over. But I can't say that I'm surprised to see Afik up here in that number 1. I need to stop saying good things about the players, because every time I do, they crash. I want him to say bad things now. Oh, look at him taking that corner. Oh, what's he think? No, I'm kidding. Bexat, though, now has to step up because Racer Best hot on their heels. Afik may have given up the lead. An unfortunate clip onto that pillar on the bridge. But hey, lots of eyes still on them here. Racer Best also showed up quite a lot in their semifinal. Not sure if they took the corner exactly how they meant to. Yes, there is the shockwave coming in that I think we were expecting to see going into that. Not quite having the best nitro management there. Full Racer, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on these players going around that corner, who we've seen so many players wreck on that wall. But I'm looking towards Doctator here in 3rd place, sort of in the middle of the pack, all race long. This is their opportunity to step up. We're just over the halfway mark. This is their time to shine and just play things smart. But hitting that corner just a little bit awkwardly, losing a little bit of speed. Oh, but instantly able to get things right back in. All right, Racer Best, you've got some competition, because Bexat up there at the front is going to have a teammate helping them out from that third place spot, taking this corner a little... not sure if that was exactly how they meant to do that. Racer Best not quite getting the best line around that corner. With that, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to catch Bexat now. That was your opportunity. We've seen players execute passes around that corner, but taking it not at exactly the right line. Bexat just doing it a little bit more calm. You can see them there. Yes, going to be saving things to go into the shockwave. That's what we're looking to see. Beautiful play coming through this section from Bexat, and not going for anything crazy. Not going for any bizarre tricks, anything, too wild or out there. Your job when you're in first place is just to win. Just play super relaxed. Don't go for any of the massive speed tricks. Just play smart, play the stable line. This isn't some all-in time trial. You've got a teammate at your back to help you out. That's what we're looking to see there. That's race number 1 in the books. I said Dictator was the one who really stood out more, but Bexat showing they are a rock-solid player to go along with the aggression that Dictator brings. Let's jump into race number 2. These teams still racking up, still accumulating points. We have quite a few more races to go on Windows. Let's jump aboard with the Feek, who was in first place. I've seen them in first place time and again. Had an unfortunate mishap in race number 1. Let's see if they're going to be able to shake it off for race number 2 and recover. But already in second place, not where they want to be. And in first, who is that up there at the front? Is that a teammate? These car colors are so similar. It's hard for me to tell. You have to hope that's Racer Best, as Bezcat is here in third. So who's up there in first place? That's my big question. I think we're looking at like orange and pink in terms of car colors. Hope nobody's colorblind in the chat, because that's going to get slightly more confusing. As Bexat is here taking this inside route, but misses both of the boosts. That's a little bit unfortunate, and they are going to lose that here, create a little bit of space for, I think, their teammate to step in. I think that's Dictator. Zafik is in second. Who is up there in first place? That's the... Whoa! Was that a double wreck? I think that was a double wreck. Racer, that was... Racer Best is now... They on top of each other, both players wrecked. I believe that was Dictator and... Feek up there in first place, which means it's Racer Best and Bestcat now. Okay. All right. This kind of race, ladies and gents. That's what we're in for in the finals. I said how impressed I was with the Windows racers, how they were pushing the limits while they pushed them a little bit too far and got punished for it, as we're now seeing Racer Best up there in first place. But Bexat is hot on their heels. And we only have a little bit of time left in this race. Oh, no, one too many 360. You could see the speed just tank. That was what you needed to do in order to pass. Going to look for near misses, going to look to wreck these obstacles, going to look to bring in the shockwave, but Racer Best just playing this a little bit cleaner, and Bexat making the absolute tiniest of errors. It's going to make the difference here. Not even going for the wall ride into the jump, taking it super steady. Racer Best wanting to leave absolutely nothing to chance as they cross that finish line, taking the second place. Wow, that crash. Landed on top of each other. They made a vehicle sandwich, and then the sandwich smashed into a wall at 170 miles an hour, or whatever it was, 200 and something kilometers. Wherever you're at in the world, use your. I'm a kilometers guy personally, but it's neither here nor there. The Americans hanging out. Let's go into race number 3. My voice is given out, but these races certainly are getting better than ever, as we are seeing them push the absolute bounds of what a team game is supposed to be. And you wouldn't necessarily get that in a head-to-head. You wouldn't get that in a one-on-one, and that's why I love this team. I've been pushing for more of this team format stuff since like 2019. It is so fun to watch the absolute chaos. The 4 of the best racers in the world going toe-to-toe, as Afik able to hit that line that little bit better. Oh my goodness. When Afik is left unchallenged, when Afik doesn't wreck, I feel like they are the scariest player in this lobby. If they are left to their own devices, I don't think you can win. Like, I think if you're Dictator and Betscat, your thought process is we just have to get real physical. We just have to get all up in their grill, quite literally. And we have to shut this player down because they are just staggeringly fast, blisteringly fast, as we're seeing Betscat still in third place, just trying to route. But you can see that first place player just getting further and further away. Feek is just continuing to extend this lead, and going around the corner here. These are teammates, I should add. Doctator now going to end up passing. But still, third and fourth place, not where you want to be at this point if you're Doctator looking towards Racer Best and a Feek coming into this. And Feek came on. Oh, man. This one's tough. Look, just every time I look at them, their nitro, like their boost is full. Every time. Look at the way they take this. The usage of the shockwave. They are a shockwave fanatic. They will use it all the time, instantly, just pop it on the brake, no questions. I would love to see, like, we need hand cams during this. Side note, I just want to see what these players are doing to execute this so flawlessly, as Racer Best is basically doing the same thing, but even Racer Best can't keep up. Look at a Feek out there at the front. I mean, we are witnessing a masterclass. If you want to get better at Asphalt 9 Legends, if you want to take your game to the next level, watch this player right here. This is some of the fastest gameplay we have seen yet tonight. And a lot of players, again, they go into the lead and they just play a little more calm. That didn't take that landing exactly as they wanted to. But Afik continues to just dominate, just continues to push the envelope, even when they're ahead. So other times you'll give opportunities for players to try and catch up to them. Nah, not leaving any of those up. There's the distance. What was the distance there? I didn't even see the other team. They weren't even on the screen. They weren't even a factor. As we just saw that first place finish once again, going over to Afikimon and Racer Best. Back and forth, back and forth. This one is super, super close. Let's get into race number 4. We need to see Doctator step up. This is your race. I called you out at the start. Backstat's been doing a great job, but I need to see Doctator continue to step up here as well. Let's go into this next race, race number 3, I should say, as we're getting into this next one here. Oh, race number 4. Yes, race number 4. Man, we've seen so much asphalt today. I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit. And watching a player this good, I can't say I blame them. But I mean, given the lead they already have and given the points that they've already accrued, if I'm doing my math correctly, if Afik and Racer Best are able to win this race, they will just win the whole thing. They'll do it in a crazy fast pace. And they are not looking back at all. Exat in 4th place is not where you want to be. Where's your teammate? I think they're in 3rd. I think this is once again Racer Best and Afik up there in 1st place. No, Doctator. Yes, it is. Doctator's in 3rd. They have an opportunity to close the gap, and we've seen Doctator do it. We've seen them go hyper aggressive, all in on the aggro to take their opponents down. They're going to need to do it right here. But taking that corner, you can see the drift there, all about trying to build up that nitro, but the boost, it's all about, working on a razor's edge, because the more you do it, the more you reduce your top speed. So you need to put yourselves in a position where you're hitting these jumps, maximizing it with your airspeed, with your air time, getting that additional nitro. And I don't think they're going to look back. I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer already, but I don't see. I mean, this lead is just continuing to extend. I don't feel like Pexat's gained any ground at all. And look at Afik up here at the front again. If you leave this player alone, they will run you into the ground. Absolutely stellar. Not a toe out of line, not an inch of the route, uncalculated. Absolutely incredible. And with the insurance of having that player in 2nd place as well, Doctator has a mountain to climb, but nothing is impossible. We've seen crazier things happen, but they need to happen here. Doctator needs to put pedal to the metal, needs to overcome 2 of the best racers in the world to place in 1st. And they're at each other. They're there bumper to bumper themselves. If I'm Racer Best too, I don't want to have Afik win every single race. It's also a competition amongst the team. They are that far ahead right now. They have that much going for them. They can continue to push the envelope, but they don't even need to. They're gonna win this race, and they are going to win the whole thing. Afik Amon, Racer Best, with incredible showing, back to back to back. I can't say enough good things about them, and they are your 2021 Windows champions. Incredible performance from this duo. That was one of the strongest finals we've seen yet from any team. I am just so impressed by how this went down over the course of today. And look, I didn't get a break, but that's okay, because who wants a break when there is asphalt that's good? That's that good. We all get to watch as we're taking a look back at the final bracket Arsonist, and Axe was better, despite having a bit of a shaky semifinal, were actually able to take that third place match, get themselves into the money, walk away with that 500 euros. Props to them. Really, I mean, because I thought Default Value and Driver were almost made it into that final. So for them to be overcome there, really, really incredible racing. But I think that's just a testament. I think that's just, again, a testament to how good all these players are, to how good every single one of these teams are. I mean, let's come back to me and then let's recap the day. Let's take a look back. There's been a lot that's happened, but let's look to Android. We crowned that champion first. Let's take a look at the bracket for Android and remind everyone how it all went down. RPM Sukti and RPM Onio with an absolutely S-tier performance were able to take the win over Elite Gimbal 8 PE and RPM Aeonian, and then RPM Rev Excel X and RPM Prime getting that third place. That's our podium here on Android. Let's take a look at iOS as well, because we saw some incredible competitors on that platform to boot. Let's take a look at our final bracket for that one, because again, these races so close. This race in particular, I didn't know how this was gonna go. I mean, I thought I had an inkling, but RPM Ahmad took it convincingly. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, RPM Alex and Future Flash, they put on an incredible performance, but once FRA started getting those first places, it was GG, game over, and Amog and Bart Rodrigo, no surprise there, able to take the third place finish. And oh man, those are the three platforms. That's it. That's Windows. That's Android. That's iOS. That is a ton. How many? 12 of the best racers in the world coming into today? Absolutely more than that. Jeez. So many fantastic racers. And the top 6 there crowned our champions across all 3 respective platforms. It has been a whirlwind adventure. I love casting asphalt, so it's been absolutely incredible to be here. I'm Paul and Verum Todd Kill, and this has been another fantastic year. The Asphalt Series Team Challenge 2021 was an absolute blast. Thank you all so much for joining me. We'll see you for the next one.
Welcome to the war game.